Our southern border is so wide open, it is beyond a crisis now. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas faced a grilling on Capitol Hill. Wait till you hear Team Biden's top priority.
Justice is our priority. That includes securing our border and providing relief to those who qualify for it under our laws.
So you refuse to prioritize whether we should try to protect our border from people crossing it who have zero right to be here, or giving amnesty to the millions of people that are in this country illegally?
Senator, I disagree wholeheartedly with the phrasing of your question.
Of course, but the phrasing of the question is true. See, he's focused on justice for illegals rather than justice for the American victims and future American victims of illegal alien criminals, not to mention the criminals who are crossing every day. Who here thinks that this is all going to stop anytime soon? It's not. This is all thanks to a very weak Team Biden. Even Mexico now is looking to exploit the situation. The president there is now demanding that we grant amnesty to 11 million illegals. The reason? He doesn't want them back. So the Mexican president is even threatening U.S. lawmakers, yes, U.S. lawmakers, who oppose his plan, insisting they'll be singled out and denounced during his press briefings. Who cares? Do you think under President Trump, the Mexican president would dare threaten a sitting member of Congress? Not a chance. And speaking of President Trump, our good friend, former acting Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Mark Morgan, just left his meeting today in Florida with President Trump. And of course, on the agenda, border security. Mark Morgan joins us now. Mark, great to have you back on the program.
Thanks, Grant, as always.
All right, so first off, right out of the gate, how is the president? What's his message to you? What's his message to us?
You know, Grant, I tell you, his energy, his passion is as high and as strong as I've ever seen it. And during our conversation, one thing was very self-evident: his continuing commitment to doing what is in the best interest of America first. Every conversation we had while we were there, it just oozed from this president as we've come to know and love. And what we think about it is what you said in your opening. Secretary Mayorkas, his first concern is the interest of illegal aliens rather than the interest of American people. It's just unconscionable.
Yeah. Well, here's why we need President Trump back, because we've got guys like Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas in charge. We know that this administration, all the way down from the top, lies. I want to play a soundbite between Ted Cruz, an exchange between Ted Cruz and Mayorkas, and then get your response as someone with direct experiences, whether he would have this knowledge or not. Let's roll that soundbite.
How many women have been sexually assaulted being trafficked into this country in 2021?
Senator, I have no ability to determine how many.
Okay, you don't know, so you didn't try to find out. How many children have been sexually assaulted by traffickers or other people when they were coming in illegally?
I do not have that data.
Okay, so you don't know that either.
So
how many child molesters have you released?
I am not aware of any child molesters whom we have released into the United States.
Mark Morgan, does he have that information? Is he lying?
He does, and he is. Look, I was there. The one thing they used to say about Customs and Border Protection, DHS, with the volumes of data and information, the reports we got daily. Look, Senator Cruz went on to ask very specific questions about how many gotaways. He gets that detailed information every single day. And it goes back to his comment. Look, again, he's more concerned about the interests of illegal aliens than Americans. Right now, what about the drugs that are poured across the southwest border because it's wide open under his leadership? A report just came out that said over 100,000 Americans died from drug overdoses, and this is a direct result of our southwest border being wide open. You mentioned the Angel family, Mom. There are tens of thousands of Angel families who American citizens have lost loved ones at the hands of illegal aliens. And then the migrants themselves. He didn't know basic questions. He didn't know how many illegal aliens have been abused or trafficked on their way here. He couldn't even answer Senator Cruz's question about how many dead migrants Customs and Border Patrol have recovered this year. He could not answer that, Grant. How many dead migrants have been found by Border Patrol agents because of that man's open border policies. He could not even address that question.
You know, it amazes me. For you, this has got to be so frustrating to sit on the sidelines and watch this. This is a cabinet member of a sitting United States president who lies to Congress, who hides information. Boy, what do we do about this? Did President Trump give you any indication about what we can do now until 2022 and 2024?
Look, so I mean, Greg, you know, I've talked about. I don't want to go into the details of what the president and I discussed about, but I got to tell you, it's pretty much straightforward, right? We need to take action now. We can't wait till 2022. We can't wait till 2024. It's about, you know, what's happening right now. It's about forcing states to do more, like the great state of Texas, Governor Abbott, the AG Paxton of Texas. You've got other governors like DeSantis. You've got AG out of Missouri who's stepping up, who's pushing back, suing this administration, and they're winning again and again to push back with respect to the gaps and the inability of this administration to do their job. But make no mistake, Secretary Mayorkas, he's the chief architect of our open border policies. He's jeopardizing every aspect of our nation's public health, public safety, and national security. He's a train wreck, and I'm saying it right here, Grant, on your show. He is an absolute blatant liar.
Yeah. Unbelievable to hear. And I'm going to tell you something. As I've got to know you, I trust you. I trust you with my life, Mark Morgan, and you can take that to the bank. I agree with you on Alejandro Mayorkas. Mark Morgan, as always, great having you on the program. Thank you.
You bet. He needs to go.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.